Hello again. Just thought I'd go through what I'm fishing with, what methods I'm using on each rod. I'm fishing with 3 rods. You're allowed to fish 3 rods on here, unless the lake is full. So what I'm fishing with, okay, so like I said before, the left hand rod, fishing with a chod rig with a bloodworm pop-up, that is just to the left, just swung out to the left hand margin. The middle rod, I'm fishing just off the island, fishing with the old, you can see that, sticky baits, bloodworm pop-up, 16mm, and then over the top of that, just some sticky baits, bloodworm, bottom baits, 16mm. So I stumbled across a new company that we're launching, and for the first, well originally it was first 1,000, but they had so much response. They said the first 3,000 people, I think it was basically to like, share and all that, they'd send out a free sample, and this is it. The bait company, it's called Outlaw Pro, and they sent me a free sample, 1 kilo sample, like they sent another 2,999 people, and my sample was 15mm Seafood Supreme, and only obviously bottom bait, so I thought I'd give it a go. In the day I thought it was an amazing launch that, and bear in mind, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, this is just me saying this is what I'm using, you know. I was lucky enough to get a free sample like other people did of this, so I thought I'd give them a go and see how they go with it. So I've got a bottom bait on the middle rod just off the island, and it just goes away from, I've obviously got 2 pop-ups on, so having a bottom bait on, it just gives another option, you know, a different dimension. And obviously the right hand rod, again I've got a bloodworm pop-up on a chod rig, maybe putting, not necessarily on everything in one basket, but I've got 2 rods on the same method. If that doesn't work, I'm snookered, I'm only relying on the middle rod. Yeah, and that rod, that third rod, is cast just to open water, in line with the island, so it's probably only 30 yards out. If I turn the camera around, I'll show you. So, you see my finger come in now, right, so I am, left hand rod is sort of over here, in the margin. Middle rod is sort of here, and the right hand rod is in the middle, sort of just in line with the island around here. So yeah, that's how we're fishing. So it's freezing. It's only 1 degree. My hands are absolutely Baltic. I got given a pair of gloves for Christmas, and these are only like woolly gloves, but you can use your phone with them. You know, the sort of them special woolly, they've been designed so you can still scroll and swipe and use your phone, and I've left them at home, which is about right. So my hands are pretty cold at the minute. No action as yet. Obviously I did have a pickup before, but it was one of the Coots diving. You know, I'm using quite dark baits. I'm not using a bright pop-up, it stands out like a sore thumb, but even using dark baits, somehow they're still able to see it. I don't know if they can see it or they can smell it or what, but they dove down once. I don't know if it was just a chance because they can see other bottom baits on the deck, or they can taste them or whatever. I don't know, they taste the scent in the water, I don't know. But using quite dark baits, it's blending in with the bottom of the lake, which makes it a little bit easier when you're trying to avoid the nuisance birds diving. Last year worked well. I decided to match the hatch using bloodworm bottom baits, and the bloodworm pop-ups are of the same colour or the same shade, so they work well. It's matching what you're putting on the bottom. What the fish are eating, the pop-up is exactly the same sort of shade, and that worked well for me last year. Obviously now we're into, well, it's still in winter, we're in February, it's 1 degree. Whether the bloodworm pop-ups will work, whether the bloodworm flavour will work now, or whether it's more of a summer bait. Obviously the fish will probably gorge more on that sort of food in the summer, so that's why I've got a different bait on. I've got this Outlaw Pro Seafood Supreme bait on, just to give it a go. in the day, I'm under no obligation. I got given it for free just for liking the page and sharing the post. So, you know, I thought it was an amazing giveaway. Because bear in mind, they've given away 3,000 kilo, give away 3 ton of bait to people to try, and I think that's pretty good. That's a really, I've never seen that for a brand new bait company. I've never seen that sort of promotion for a launch promotion. That was, you know, respect to them for that. I'll give it a go. No action yet. Like I say, I've been here. I don't know what time it is. It's probably 10:15. I've been here since just after 7. It's actually a little bit exciting. I don't mind this time of year because when the gates are opening at 6 through the summer, it's already daylight and you feel like you've lost that sort of element of surprise where you're getting there while it's still dark. But this time of year, even opening at 7 an hour later, it doesn't get light till 8, so you set up and you're just catching that last half hour of darkness going into light, and that's prime time for catching fish. Obviously, you know, it doesn't always work. The downside is it's absolutely freezing, so you know, it's 1 degree, but that sun is really warm. There's no wind, not a breath of wind, but you can still feel it's chilly. It was frozen this morning, so it's still chilly in the air, even with the sun. This side of my face is quite warm, and this side of my face is cold. So, but you know, that's fishing. There are some fair weather fishermen out there. I've been a fair weather fisherman in the past. I'm not a fan of bad weather. I don't mind cold. I don't mind sun. You know, like I say, I was fishing in 30 degrees last year. I'm fishing in 1 degree now. I can't stand rain. I don't think anyone likes rain. It's not nice. You've got to sit in your bivvy or your shelter, and you can't really do anything. You know, especially if you're PVA fishing, you've got to keep everything dry. I don't know. It's just not a nice weather to fish in. But I've fished in rain plenty of times. Hopefully, with the sun being up now, it's very warm. I can feel that sun's really warm. It might just warm the temperature of the water up a bit, and it may just switch the fish on, because it's really hard this time of year. Anywhere this water can be very hard, and obviously in the winter it's very hard. I don't know how well you can hear me. I've just had a playback of the first video. It sounded alright, but the trouble is, like I say, with so many water birds, there's so much noise and activity going on. You've got to try and raise your voice. There's a little, I don't know what that was then. Someone just ran across the front of my swim. Sort of rodents, these mammals run back and forwards, and there's no surprise that sometimes you can see a lot of birds of prey, a lot of kestrels and buzzards and that sort of thing around here. There's little owls as well. I know last year the owners put a post up, they put a little owl box, and there was, when they checked it, there was 3 baby owls in there, so that was good to see. Hello again. So, what's happened so far? Well, nothing to report really. What I have done, I've left the middle rod out, just off the island on the bottom bait, on this Outlaw Pro Seafood Supreme bait. Just recast the left hand rod to the left margin. Only, it's about, now I'm using 9-foot rods, so I'd say 2 12-foot rod lengths out, so I'd say 20, 24 feet, something like that. What happens is, the margin runs along here, but then it cuts in, and then runs along again, so it's like a bit of a bay area. Now that's why it's good from fishing over there. You can actually get into the bay area, where here, you can swing the bait out, but you're only swinging it out parallel with the bay, whereas when you're fishing from the other peg, you can cast into the bay. But what I've done, I've swung it out, and I'm just past where the margin cuts inwards, and I'm sort of parallel with that. That's usually a good place for fish. I've chucked a few baits in, just a few single boilies, blood crush boilies, and I've got some pellets as well. I've got some 6mm bloodworm pellets. I've chucked a bit of that in as well, just to see if it'll get them interested, maybe grubbing about a bit. There's a cormorant up there, just gone flying over, starting to circle. You know, everything I've got is pretty carpy, as Mark Pitchers would say. Apart from my chair. This is actually a camping chair that I got from Millets, because I do some camping as well. Me and my mates, every year for the last, well, they've been going since 1999, so they've been going 21 years this year. I've been going with them since 2008, but I did go with my brother in 94. I'm going to Loch Doon every year for 20 years same place, just a weekend, 6 lads, 5 lads, just take loads of beer, loads of food, cooler boxes full of food, and so make a barbecue, take a stereo boom blaster, you know, just to play music, build a fire, just have a laugh, sleep in tents, just a good laugh, just a weekend away from it all, the rat race of the urban life and working life and stuff. It's just a good chance to catch up with some of these lads I've not seen since last year, so you have a good catch up with them. So yeah, this camping chair I got last year, it's exactly the same. I've got 2 of these. The other one's grey, which is definitely not carpy, so when I got this one it was green, so I thought, well, that's the closest I can get to a sort of carpy chair. And if I get some spare money I will get a proper carping chair, but this is just as good. It's really comfy, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about, comfort. There's 2 other people on at the minute. I think there's 2 other people, there's definitely 2 on, but I've seen a couple of cars turn up, but where the car park is to this lake, it's also the same. It could be the same car park to the other Match Lake, one of the Match Lakes. So they could be fishing the Match Lake. We'll see how we go. So, right, I'll check in with you again in a bit, and I'll let you know if I've had anything. It's absolutely flat calm now. Wind, not a breath of wind. It's died down. It's quite warm. So let's see them lads casting out there. Casting some bait out. Casting the rigs out. Just about the back of the island. In line at the back of the island. It's still quiet. It's weird how I'm expecting something to happen because it's so quiet. It feels like something's building up. It's just the birds will go. They'll have periods where they go and make an absolute racket, and then it'll go quiet, and then they'll start kicking off again. This is a quiet period where sorry, I can only see 2 birds on the water. All the others have gone onto the islands for a bit of a rest, and it just seems like it's quiet, like something's going to happen. But I'll probably just false hold there, you know. But hopefully the bait I've got out, I've tried and tested, you know, baits. The bloodworm pop-up still to the left. That's an absolute go-to bait with the chod rig. Middle baits, still got the mainline toppers on, the imitation corn mainline toppers, popped up on a hinge stiff rig, and the right hand rod, a chod rig again, but this time switched to a pink krill pop-up, but it's out towards further out in the middle, not into the middle but further out, because I'm trying to get to deeper water to avoid the birds diving for it, especially with it being a pink bait. It'll stand out like a sore thumb, so I need to get it deeper, just out of range of where they're diving to. Never really tried. It's the first time I'm trying the krill. I've got it in the pink. I was going to get it in the same colour as the bloodworm. They do it in roughly the same colour. That's the bloodworm, and they do the krill in pretty much the same colour. But they also do the pink ones and pink pop-ups on here. Do well, or have done, for everyone else. So the only bright colour I've caught on is yellow, the mainline toppers. And the chod rig, go through that. You've probably seen it a million times before. Basically that's it. Got a 1.5 ounce lead on. I don't want a heavy lead because I don't want it crashing deep into the weed. So a nice light lead, doesn't go that deep into the weed. And then you've got the Helisafe leader. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. But there where my fingers are, finger and thumb is the tungsten part of the leader. You go a bit further along, there's another tungsten part. And then this tungsten bit, this is where I've got the bead, the bottom bead. Yeah, because you can see that. Yeah, there's a decent amount of, there's probably, I don't know, 2 feet of leader before the bottom bead, and that's simply because I don't want it going into the weed. And there's the chod itself. The top bead is right at the top of the leader. See, that's the loop of the leader. Yeah. And the bead is right underneath that. And then this is the chod itself. You've seen it a million times before. It's just I think this is called a long chod. piece of putty on just to weight it down so it sinks slowly. I've got a bit of bait floss on there, it's not the best, but I did it in a rush job last time I was here. Get a couple of baits on there, or a big bait, just enough to pop this, because it's a size 6 hook, and I want a bait that pops it up, because sometimes I've used 12mm pop-ups and the 12mm on the size 6, it doesn't sit right because it's too heavy, the hook's too heavy. That's that on the end of it, and you can see that. Put my hand behind it. It's just a hook bead protecting the hook point. I think it's thinking anglers, or thinking anglers. They make hook beads just to protect it when you put it away, when you're putting your rods away, set up, and that's it. Obviously, you've seen it before. Lead goes into the weed, and this part of the leader comes down, so it's sat up like that, and then this bit, it's weighted, but obviously the pop-up counterbalances it. It slowly sinks down and sits on top of the weed. That's the theory anyway. It worked well last year, but it got to a point where it just seemed like there was too much weed, or my leader wasn't it wasn't long enough. You see there, I'm limited to a metre. I can only set the chod to a maximum of a metre, which is 3 feet. Now, the rule of thumb is, Rob uses one of them, he says, if you weed, whatever your weed is, you add 50% onto your chod. So if the weed's 3 foot deep, you need your chod to be 4.5 feet deep. Now, with that only being 3 foot leader, I am limited. Obviously, there's places where the weed is, it could be, and it's 4 foot deep. Now, and you can just about see the weed under the surface. So if the weed's 2 or 3 foot deep, I need 3 or 4 feet of chod. So that leader, I'm not saying it's useless, but I need the chod to be beyond that capabilities of that leader. So I need to then make a longer chod, and that's when I probably switch to a naked chod, because you're unlimited then to how long you can make it. So, say the weed's 3 foot deep here, I need a 4.5 foot chod, but I'm limited to a 3 foot leader. Cormorant's just turned around and gone back over there, so it is hanging about again. It's not good. This time of year, you'd think the fish are in deep water, or certainly hugging the bottom, so the cormorant's not really. It's probably hopefully out of the range of the cormorants, but like I say here, the fish are too big for the cormorants. Certainly the carp are anyway. The small fish, there may be some decent size silverfish in here. I know there's a lot of silverfish, but I don't think they're big, you know. But I think it's more that cormorant's more after the smaller carp that are in here, because there are some small carp in here. There are obviously some fry that have survived, and there's probably some that may be just between 10 and 12 pound, but most of them are over 12, 13 pounds, so they should be out of danger from the cormorants. It's flying off over that way now. It'll be back. It was a 5 year last month, so it'll probably be here for a while. I reckon another few Canadian geese show up, and I think the cormorants they'll go then. As soon as March comes, you think, all right, spring's round the corner. We're not far away from the nice weather. You know, I know carp can be caught any time of the year, but it's nice to fish in nice weather. I love it. But there's so much wildlife around here. Sometimes the hot weather can be a curse, because you've got there's a few wasp nests knocking around. And probably the biggest scourge for people here is horsefly, and they are an absolute nightmare. You don't even feel them. I was stood here last year, year before, and all of a sudden you just feel like an itching, and you're like, what's that? It's a horsefly biting into you. Get off quick, because horsefly bites can be nasty. So I've tried everything. I've tried formula, jungle formula. That does well. The only thing is, keep it away from anything like your glasses, because this is the second pair of glasses I've had to buy, because I put it on and it literally melted the plastic on my glasses. It's that strong. But the best stuff I've found, albeit in summer I'm quite fair-skinned, so it works against me because I get sunburnt, so I have to put some strong suntan lotion on, is Avon Skin So Soft. I don't know if some of you might know. That works well. I don't know what it is, I don't know what ingredients in it, what makes it so good, but it seems to keep everything away. All the horseflies, wasps, anything like that, it keeps everything away. I don't think it's got any citronella in it, because that's supposed to be good for anything like that. But whatever's in it, it does smell nice, but it's a tannin accelerant, and for someone who burns like a, you know, like a good one, it can work against me, because as well as keeping all the bugs away, it turns me out like a beetroot when I get sunburnt, so I have to be careful how much I put on. I have to cover up when I've got it on. Obviously put suntan lotion on. I never take any chances, I just put factor 50 on. I just go red and fade, so it's not going to get a tan. I don't go brown, not like these Love Island bronze Adonises, none of that. I just go red and fade, so there's no point in me getting a tan, because it's not a great look. So I just put factor 50 on, because I don't tan, I burn. There's a difference between tanning and burning, and I'm a burner. So I just prefer not to, just not take any chances, because I've been sunburnt in the past and it ain't great. It's not the nicest thing to have, being sunburnt, it's awful. So I put that on, but then I put the Avon Skin So Soft, because that's the best product I've found. A lot of people rate it for any sort of bugs, whether it be horsefly, midges. I get scourge of them in Scotland when I go away. We try to go away between end of April and beginning of June, because that's a time frame, a period where you're getting decent weather. You've got a chance of decent weather, but it's still a bit too cold for any midges out. I've been once in middle of June. Well, it was second week of June. Never again, because it was awful. It was, and then you've seen the film Pitch Black with Vin Diesel. It was like that. It was it was lovely all day, nice and sunny. It was red hot, about 70 odd degrees. It was amazing. And odd midgie floating about, that was it. Yeah. As soon as the sun went behind the hills, literally just dipped behind the hill, that was it. And I'm not talking millions, I'm talking there were billions of them, billions and billions of them. They just come from everywhere. And there was 6 of us, and you couldn't stand still for a second. As soon as you stood still, they were on your face, you could feel them. And we had hoodies on, you had a hoodie up, you had the drawstring pulled tight, little tiny hole to breathe through, and you could still feel them just tickling over your face. You're like, oh, get off. And we couldn't get rid of them. And in the end, we had to dive in the van, because originally we were going to watch one of the boxing matches. I can't remember who it was. I think it was who was it now? Carl Frocks from George Groves. Can't remember if it was the first or second fight he had. And we were planning on watching it outside. We had the portable Sky dish, we had the Sky box, everything was sound. We had the TV, we had an inverter set up, and then we had to literally throw everything in the back of the. Luckily, one of the lads had a tranny van. Throw everything in the back of the van, and we literally took shelter. Still watched the boxing, but it was awful. So we said never again. Anything after end of May, that's your cut-off point. You are running the risk of being plagued by midges. So we've usually gone to the sort of third week in May, around the sort of 17th, 18th, that sort of 20th, that sort of time. You sort of get nice weather. We've been blessed with good weather in the past few years. It's warm enough to sit in shorts and t-shirt, but it's only just warmed up, so the midges aren't quite as active as they are in the summer. Yeah, like I was saying before, I've had to pack everything. I've had to get everything packed down, because I've not got a great deal of space to store stuff. So, and also when I'm doing day sessions, I need to try and lighten the load. So I've got the Sonic Extractor rods, 9 foot. They're packed down to next to nothing, 44 inches. And when they're strapped together, they're literally just a bit bigger than a big handbag. I've got a 2-piece landing net. Got the Tracker Sanctuary landing net. That packs down to about 3 feet. Obviously the pod, that packs down. I've got everything in the case. I've got the Tracker V2 Sanctuary sling, that packs down to probably the same size as the landing net. And everything's, this chair packs down, so everything's, literally nothing is bigger than 3 feet long. It's all sort of sausage shape, nice, it's easy to pack away, and it's easy to store as well. I can store everything in in one of them plastic storage boxes you get for the garden, that normally you put your garden stuff in. I can even stick it in the loft if you have to. But yeah, it's easy to transport, easy to store. I've not got a garage, that's the thing. If you had a garage, wouldn't be a problem, but I've not, so you've obviously got to think things like this when you're buying fishing stuff. Have I got room to store it? You know, so the barra, even the barra packs down. Obviously the handles come off, the wheel comes off, the arms fold in, and the barra packs down to a flat piece of, just a flat square. So everything's packed down to nothing, and it's easy to store. Not even had a knock. I would have thought I'd have had a beep or something. I'm now fishing with a back lead. I wasn't before. Strangely enough, people have said in the past, it might just be coincidence, I'm assuming it is, but I'm sure it is, but whenever they fish with a back lead, they've had a bite. Now I'm not saying they only get a bite when they fish with back lead, but they've said they've fished tight lines before, whatever bait, same bait, and they fished a tight line, no back lead, not had a bite. They've put a back lead on and they've had a bite. Now maybe that's because the fish might be spooky, might be wary, so if they're coming across your bait and it's all pinned to the floor, they might be spending more time around your bait and more likely to pick it up. Whereas if your main line is coming straight off where the lead is, straight up through the water, if a fin pings off it, it may just spook the fish and they're gone, and that's it. So a fish might only spend a few minutes around. A fin might flick the line that's off the deck, and that's it. It spooks and disappears. Whereas when you've got a back lead, all the lines on the deck, there's nothing for the fish's fin to touch or anything like that, so it spends more time around your bait or your hook bait. There's more chance of it getting a pick up. And that's the reason we use back leads, to try and keep wary fish from being spooked. But I've got 3 different baits on now. I started with 2 of the same and a different one. I've now switched over. I've now got 3 different baits on. Still got the sticky baits bloodworm pop-up on a chod rig on the left rod. I've got mainline topper. I've got 3 mainline toppers popped up on a hinge stiff rig in the middle rod, and then I've got the krill, the pink pop-ups, pink ones that they're called, on the right hand rod, again on a chod rig, because there is still a lot of debris, a lot of weed on the deck. Even though the weed's dying off because of the weather, it's not actually dying away where it's disappearing. It's just actually folding over on itself and collapsing on itself. So it's still there, it's still present. I may have a look in the margin here to the right, because that's the one place I've not really looked. To the right and to the island across to the right. So what I'll do, I'll leave it there for now, and I'll get back to you again in a minute, and I'll update you on any activity. It's not far off the end of the session now. No action, not a beep, not a knock, nothing. I've seen no signs of fish, but this time of year I'm not expecting to see any signs of fish. Certainly not any fish crashing. I've seen a few fish, well, I've seen a few bubbles. I don't know whether they're gas bubbles or oxygen bubbles coming from under the weed or something else. I did see, right over to where the lads are fishing over to the right of me, a light coloured shade that was moving along the surface of the water. It wasn't actually breaking the surface, it was just under, but it was moving because I was watching it in the shadow of the trees. I could see it move, so I'm thinking it was either a koi or a very light coloured fish on the surface, just under the surface. I could see it moving. It's quite a long one as well. It's the only thing with short day sessions, certainly in the winter. They're harder enough in the summer anyway, but in the winter they're nigh on impossible. You've got to be, they say you've got to be on fish, but a water like this, it's quite an intimate water. You can't fail to be on fish. You're always going to be near fish anyway. There's probably going to be spots where there's more fish than others, but there's you never fish a peg and think there's no fish in this area, because there's fish everywhere. They don't really hold up in any one area. We shall see. We've probably got about 2 hours left. Let's say, what time is it? 1 o'clock. I've probably got about 2 hours left before I start packing up. I never stay till the gate's shut. I always go a little bit early, maybe half an hour early, and the gate's shut. I always worry that the gates will shut and I'll be locked in, so I always go a bit earlier. With these sort of sessions, it's your first 5 hours, 6 hours they're the most crucial. I've never been on a day session where I've caught fish after dinner time. I have caught fish after dinner, but it's been on a 24-hour session, and that's when I've got there sort of 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then I've caught the fish. I think it was about 3, 4 o'clock, and then we fished overnight. Didn't have anything through the night. There was 5 on here last week. It's straight overhead here now. Coming into land. There. Yeah, that's a cormorant. I thought it was when it was swimming over. Sorry. There was 5 on here last time I came. And like I say, most of the fish will be safe from its presence. And let me just zoom out a sec. And there we are. It's about right, isn't it? It's just dove again there, where that water is. Alright. Oh, it's popped up again. There. See it? So he was down then for about, that must have been 2 minutes. But I didn't see whether he actually had anything. So I'm going to go wide, a little bit wider. There we go. Sorry about the shaky camera. Just opposite peg 2 there. Just right outside peg 2. Obviously not very deep there, it's probably only, that's a 2 foot max there. It's gone down again. Let me just zoom back out again. For a carp fishery, the 2 main predators are, just pop, no, it's still under. The 2 main predators are the cormorants, but in a place like this, most of the fishing here are safe, and of course there's otters. Otters are the absolute scourge of any fishery. Luckily, there's been no reports of any otters around here. We are in, even though we're in the middle of nowhere, we are not far from a city. It's just popped up again there. We're not far from 2 major cities, so that's not to say otters don't, frequent urban areas. But thankfully, there's been no sightings or any sort of hint of any otters in the area around here. So, although we're not far away from a river either, so that's never a good thing when you're not far from, when you're not that far from away from a running water source. There's 5 on them, 5 on here last time. I've only seen that one, which that's probably a good thing. At least there's only 1 rather than 5. It's one of them. 1's better than 5, but not as good as none. So, hopefully. I'd like to think hopefully the return of the Canadian geese has sort of spooked some of these cormorants, because they're pretty big, them Canadian geese, so I don't think the cormorants want to be messing with them. So I've just recast my right rod, sorry, my left rod, recast my left rod back into the margin, just parallel with where the margin goes into a bay area. The middle rod's still the same. The right hand rod I've actually switched over to, I'll show you now when I find it. I switched over, and I did say I wasn't going to use these, but I switched over to the krill, pink ones, 16mm, bright pink pop-ups. Having said that, I have now cast further out into deeper water, so I'm hoping that the birds diving aren't going to be able to get to that, because it's a deeper water. There is a smell of smoke coming across the water as well. I don't know where that's coming from. It's coming from the right somewhere. It's like someone burning something. I do love that smell. It reminds me of being in Scotland camping. We've got the fire going. But as you can see, it's all going on over here. You've got the water birds, coots, really only attack Angler's baits. You've got the Canadian geese that usually attack each other. Ducks, mallards. No swans on here. I've never seen swans on here. Cormorant still swimming about down there. Yeah, swimming about looking a bit shifty. I'll get back to you with any any sort of news on any fish activities. A lot of surface activity, but nothing going on under the surface at the minute. I've just seen them lads throw a few more spoms out, just trying to put some bait down, get the fish interested, so I'll let you know if we have anything. It was interesting to do this first video blog, vlog, whatever you want to call it, but you know, like I say, it's just a bit of a laugh, it's just a bit of fun, not serious, it's not, you know, I'm not scripting it, I'm not take one, take two, none of that, you know. If I fluff anything I say, it's because sometimes I can't think about the right answer or the right words to say, so I'll have to, you know, change my approach to what I'm saying. But that's what makes it genuine. Maybe even the professionals get it wrong and they have to take one, take two. And this is what it's about. This is an actual day in the life of someone fishing. You know, a day in the life of someone on the bank for a day session. I'm not going to turn it off or do that again because I didn't say this right. If I didn't say it right, that's the way it is. It's because I'm not, you know, I'm not acting. This is just a normal session. I'm a normal bloke, you know. But it's good. You know, hopefully do a couple more videos. You know, if you like the videos or if you like this video, like and subscribe. You know, hit the bell icon so you don't miss another video. But like I say, my next session is probably going to be, well, my next week off is in a month's time. We'll see how we get on. Still a bit of time on this session yet, so you never know. Fishing, you know, it's like football. It only takes a second to score a goal. It only takes a second for the alarm to go off, and that's it. As long as the rod's in the water, then there's always a chance. So, well, we'll catch you soon. Well, that's the end of the session. No luck. Really quiet. Two lads fishing. They're up. They've got the bivvies up. They're obviously here for at least overnight. The match is still going on. Yeah, fishing the match. That's me. That there, my car freshener. It's about as carpy as it gets, I suppose. Yeah, so a blank, but this time of year is difficult. Difficult anyway. Any time of year, but certainly in the winter months. It's really sunny, it's actually really warm. It is now in the car with the sun out. It's quite warm outside, but there is a frost. It was frozen this morning. Car was frosty. See what we can do in the next session, you know. It's difficult. Looking back, I wish I'd have fished another swim now. Actually, another swim on the opposite side of the lake. I think I'd have been more confident with that. The swim I wanted was already taken, so I do have a second and third choice, and in the end I had a walk round and I did see a little bit of what I thought was action, a bit of movement, but well, it wasn't to be, so we'll try again next time. It's going to be, like I say, about another month probably before my next session. I usually only go on my week off, which is every month. If I get a chance in between, I do get other days off as well. I may do another day session. Not even day sessions, you can probably just nick in for a few hours. But we shall see. So we'll try again next time. And I'll see you soon.